All right, so welcome to your user group again, another time, and this might be the very last time you will be attending this group for 2020. And we wish all you a happy holidays and a good break, much needed break for everyone. Enjoy your time with your family. To start with, I would really like to thank all the volunteers who have spent so much time and effort in the last few months and have been spending so much time out of their family. And we can still see people are driving and on the road, and it's their dedication and love they are attending this session today. So thank you so much for all the volunteers and the speakers who have done so much work over the nights, over the days. It's never easy to do all these sessions along with your office work. Uh, so thank you so much. And without attendees, we could not do anything. So it's all your love, your dedication, your support, and your wishes to us who had made us so much grown in last few months. So thank you so much for everyone. Again, it's a part of our agenda of every presentation. We let all everyone know what this group all about. So we have posted all the same agenda, same thing into our own Teams chat, also Teams channel. We have also posted onto LinkedIn, Twitter. This group is all about we are trying to gather all the FinOps professionals, specifically from Australia and New Zealand region, where we get all the professionals from this particular area and come together and share and learn all together. It's not There is no limitation, no restrictions. Like we should not allow, and we will not allow anyone out of finance and operations community. We are most welcome to have someone to talk about Power Platform, but mainly focus how we can extend finance and operations with Power Platform, how we can integrate finance and operations with Power Platform. So there has to be some element of finance and operations. So that is our main theme having this group. We need you definitely. We are we are building a community for everyone. Uh, it's an ANZ region. If you want to get involved, please use one of these hashtags, a couple of hashtags, which is D365 FO and FinOps one. These are the standards one we have been using for all our posts. But if you want to get notified, you want to get involved into the Australia and New Zealand FinOps team, so that is the dedicated hashtag which we got. We would love to hear back from your blogs, your Twitters, your LinkedIn. So please feel free to share your feedback. If you want to talk about, get in touch with me, with Rachit, Vishal, Ammar, Kamar, and Zishan. We all are here to help you. We all are volunteers. So it's a flat group. Anyone can join. Anyone can serve the community. So this is our LinkedIn company page here. Feel free to join here. So we will be posting all our upcoming sessions over LinkedIn. We will be tweeting about all upcoming sessions on our Twitter page. And once the presentations and all the recordings are done, we will be uploading all our presentations on our dedicated YouTube channel. So it's a good win to subscribe to our channel. So please do subscribe and do share with others. A little bit about what we are going to do in 2021. That's gonna be another challenging year from the technology point of view. We have to learn, we have to upskill to stay up to the market. So what we have noticed as of now, we are going to talk about advanced warehousing. There will be a series of sessions on advanced warehousing, and then we also have scheduled a couple of sessions on to project operations. So today's talk is all about the introductory on an icebreaker session for the project operations. But going forward, we have scheduled deep dive sessions for our project operations. So stay tuned. If you want to talk about on any topic, please feel free to jump in and say, okay, hey, I want to talk about on this topic, and we would love to schedule your sessions. So with this one, I'll just switch to this presentation, and I'll hand over to Rachit.
Thank you, Faisal. Welcome, guys. So today we are aiming to discuss about the new offering from Microsoft, which is Microsoft Dynamics 365 for project operations. What we are aiming to do is introduce what this app is all about. It's not a new app with the new features. It is legacy apps which have been merged into one app. So we'll talk about that, and we aim to talk about the different type of deployment options. Faisal will give a walkthrough of the session. So welcome to the session. Faisal, can we switch to the next slide, please? Quick introduction to the speakers. So we'll just do a round robin. So I am based in Melbourne, working with Infosys. Been working in Microsoft Dynamics space from last 15 years. And that's about me. I'll hand it over to Faisal for a quick introduction.
Yeah, thanks, Rachit. My name is Faisal Fareed. I'm working as a technical architect at DSC Technology based in Melbourne. Have been in technology around almost 13, 14 years now. So that's about myself. You can check me on LinkedIn, Twitter, and on my personal blogs. Uh, so it's a then Vishal. It's a
Thanks, Faisal. Hi, guys. My name is Vishal. I am based out of Auckland, New Zealand region. I work in Microsoft Dynamics Finance and Operations. I am a techno-functional consultant, and I'm co-presenting with Rachit and Faisal on this session. Thank you. Back to you, Rachit.
All right. Thanks, Vishal. So Faisal, would you mind if I start sharing just from driving perspective? I'll share my screen.
yeah, sure. Please go
Cool.
ahead.
Just a minute. I'll stop video just to save some bandwidth. Alrighty. Okay. So it's good. Yeah. All right. So what we are going to cover today is, guys, introduction to this apps, what industries it covers, what are the features, what are different deployment options for Dynamics 365 for project operations. We will talk about how dual write enables seamless integration between project operations and finance and operations via dual write. So we'll talk about setup and architecture. We'll go through a product demo. Faisal will drive that, and then we'll go through summary and Q&A. So I'll start with the introduction first. So what is Dynamics 365 for project operation, and what has been the journey so far? So if you look into this slide, Microsoft announced in February 2020 that they are going to release this app into the market, and they brought their vision in front of the market. And the vision was to consolidate various applications which are catering to project service industry. So there were different applications which were offering different type of features, and the objective and vision of Microsoft is to bring everything under one umbrella as one application, so that all the different business areas of your organization, they use same application, they get real-time visibility, and the process flow is seamless. So in February the announcement was made. In June 2020, the public preview was launched. So this app was made available in public preview, and partners and customers around the world, they sort of joined this program to get their hands onto it, give Microsoft some feedback so that any issues which the community is facing can be fixed. And then in October 2020, this product is generally released. So this is a GA product. It is available in market. And if you look into this slide here, it tries to explain that there were three different products. Dynamics 365 PSA, Project Service Automation, which we know was a sort of a very mature project when it comes to business processes related to sales side. So your sales agents are using it, they are creating quotations out of it, your project managers are using it to manage your resourcing. Then there was another product which was called Microsoft Projects, and it was a very mature project when it comes to scheduling project activities, doing resource planning, and they there was a flavor of Microsoft projects for web, which also offers these web capabilities. And then there is Dynamics 365 for finance, which allows you to do your project transactions, project accounting, do your revenue recognition, and do your invoicing. So if you see, there were three different products which were offering three, different type of matured capabilities across different business areas. And all of this has been now combined so into Dynamics 365 for project operations. So best of the best business processes have been merged together, and it is also powered by the Power Platform and the wider Dynamics ecosystem applications like AI ML. So it has a very strong platform to start off. What Microsoft has released now, we'll talk about it, and the future is exciting. So moving on to the next slide, what we want to talk here is about, again, a second level view of in a project service, company, there are different type of people who are working on different type of applications. So what used to happen traditionally is project managers are working on their project management tools, resource managers are working on multiple tools, the salespeople are working on CRM applications to engage with customers, send out quotes, convert opportunities into customers. And then the actual people who are working on the project, they are putting their time and expenses in applications which are hosted in house or maybe another applications. And then your finance team is running invoices by consolidating data from various applications. So what used to happen was there were disparate systems, teams are using different systems for different areas, and then consolidating and integrating all this system into one application was a cumbersome process. It requires a lot of investment and then a lot of testing to ensure things are integrated in a nice way and the view is good. With the new Dynamics 365 project operations, you can see here that all the various personas are working across in the same application. That means the data is consolidated in one application. Everyone has the real-time insights. Every action impacts the other person, in the real time, and that way the teams can work in a more collaborative way, and the projects can be executed in a more effective way. And that's the vision to do your projects on time within budget. So I'll move to the next one. When it comes to industry coverage, this application is not just only for professional services and consulting companies. It also caters for different industries. So if you're into manufacturing industry or architecture, engineering, and consulting domain, even in healthcare services, there are various industries which are being serviced by this application, platform. So we have to sort of build our thought process in a way that it's not only for a professional services organization. There are opportunities for partners and ISVs to leverage this platform and serve the market in a better way. And here you can see it's all powered and tightly integrated with the other Dynamics 365 applications which are in the portfolio. So this is about a high level introduction. What I'll do now is I'll quickly talk about how the transition looks like, what is happening, right? So there is a lot of confusion in the market with customers and partners that, hey, okay, this is a new product. What do I do if I'm an existing customer? How does it impact me in long run? So Microsoft has come up with a transition plan where they are continuously trying to convey this message that, guys, this new application has released, start your transition. There is a full, there is support coming from Microsoft. So what has happened is in February, Microsoft talked about this release. In October 2020, this application is generally available, which means that for any new customers, any new licenses, they will not sell on this platform. Customers have to buy a new license for project operations. So new customers must purchase project operations if they intend to use these functionalities. And in order to backfill the customers who are actually using multi-application users in their umbrella, there are some transition plans. So you have to qualify for that. So when they say qualifying customer, there is a process that either you are on an existing plan or you opt for it. which means if you are intending to use project operations in future, you can opt for it. There is a link we will share later in the slide where customers can fill in the form, get in touch with Microsoft and become a qualifying customer. So that gives you a better foundation in the transition when it comes to the future. Within next year, October 2021, there will be no new renewals of licenses for project management and accounting applications. And in 2024, which is a couple of years far, these applications will be turned off. So basically, project operations will be the only sort of go-to-go application for doing your project operation, PMA activities. It is a bit high level. There are a lot of nitty-gritties under the hood, so I would recommend you read the latest licensing guide, get in touch with the sales team of Microsoft to understand more about how you or your customers can transition. But the clear sort of message from Microsoft is that start thinking about it, start preparing on it, and the new investments are going to happen in this area. So if you are using, let's say, a PMA or projects for web, there might not be new features, a lot of new features coming up in that application. Everything new and exciting might come into this application. So this is a high level from licensing perspective.
That's absolutely right, Rachit. So some of the customers who are already using PSAs, PSA module, which is Project Service Automation, what is the plan for them to migrate to project operations when they plan to upgrade or when Microsoft is no longer supporting? Is there some sort of roadmap for that? Like how the data will be moving up, how the extensions will be moving up to this project operations?
Yes, very good question, Vishal. So this is a common question for a lot of customers, and that is where this transition plan is coming into the picture. So Microsoft will provide support for project service automation offerings till 2024. So your support is still there. There is a transition plan where you can migrate your existing, processes, configurations, or data to the new application. But yes, it is supported. It's not that your support is going away, but the transition plan is also there, and this is the right time to start thinking about it. I hope that answers.
Yeah, totally. So basically, Microsoft plans to provide the scripts to migrate the data and the other stuff onto the project operations.
Yes, that is my understanding. Yeah. So that is there. Yeah. Alrighty. Are there any questions in the chat window, guys? If there is any question, we can take it.
Nothing so far. We'll keep going.
Okay. So there is also a term called as grandfathering of licenses. So salespeople may relate to it. So grandfathering is more about, if you have existing licenses, you can use it on the new application. And that is again where, there are some different segments of customer who can get to, that grandfathering benefit. So get in touch with the, Microsoft team to get more understanding of how your customer can transition. All right, so let's talk about the features. So now this application provides end-to-end capabilities from sales to project planning to resource management to submission of your time and expenses, then running your costing, running your invoicing and project financials. So one application seamlessly integrated, and this is a very nice summary slide from one of the Microsoft presentations which we borrowed, which tells you that in each stream of business, in the whole end-to-end process, what type of capabilities exist, and this is what exists today, and it is constantly getting matured. So there are new areas and new functionalities which Microsoft is working towards. But if you see on this slide, we are able to do the entire end-to-end project operations life cycle with this application. All right, so now when it comes to deployment options, so at the moment there are three flavors of this application. There is a light mode, there is a non-stocked scenario mode, and there is a stocked scenario mode, which means depending on your business or the nature of your company, you can choose which type of deployment option you want to go for. And there is a questionnaire on Microsoft's website. So when you start, subscribing or looking into it, there is a nice wizard which takes you through few questions. You answer those questions and you get to know which deployment option is suited for you. I'll just uh, do a bit more deep dive here. So if you look at these three different options, what happens in the light option is you are only working on project operations app. Now this project operations app is based on CDS platform. It's like a model driven power app. It's like any other, CE app on your power platform. So it basically works in itself. You can integrate with other finance systems, your other legacy systems in the existing landscape. So this is a light mode. When it comes to resource or non-stocked instance, this is where a lot of investment is happening. So this is the scenario where project operations app is integrated with finance and operations via dual write. So this is used for scenarios where you create your sales quotations, project contracts, and projects in project operations. It gets integrated in projects as in projects module of finance and operations. Then you run your invoicing, revenue recognition in finance and operations. So this is a integrated flow between two applications, and this is for non-stocked scenarios, which means you're not really dealing with inventory levels and stocks and products. It's more for service organizations, like for example, you are into consulting company, or you are providing some ad hoc trainings, or you are into construction industry, you're not really managing your own inventory, it's all third party. Third scenario is the stocked scenario, which is more of a finance and operations driven processes. So most of the things will still continue to happen in finance and operations. You don't really need a project operations app to do these stock scenarios, although Microsoft is investing heavily to make sure that your item requirements or your employees are also getting synchronized between project operations and finance and operations. So there is work happening in this area, but at the moment, our current understanding is that stocked scenarios can be executed end to end within finance and operations itself. Vishal, you have any things here?
Yes, one of the biggest question for the audience would be like if we leave the finance and operation, which is the third option, how do we get the access to this product? Because that's how people will learn. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, that's a good question. So get access, you have to get in touch with Microsoft. You may have to, I mean, there are two ways, because the product is generally available. You can buy licenses directly through your Power Platform Admin Center, and you can start deploying. Another way is you get in touch with Microsoft. They can give you some offer codes. You may have to set up a new tenant, and then you follow the instructions in the installation guide. We are planning a deep dive session on this next year. But basically what you have to do is register a new tenant, install this CE in the apps. You can find the project operations app. You install it, then you install a finance and operation instance. You configure dual write. You have to run the maps, and then basically there is a demo database which Microsoft provides, which you can install, which will sort of spin up a demo instance for you. So yeah, there are two ways. You can either still go through the preview track where Microsoft can give you offer codes, and as the application is generally available, you can directly buy it from the app source of the project Power Platform.
So, uh, can I add a couple of points here, Rachit?
Yeah.
So, for the broader audience, the two ways you can just send a request to a Teams channel. So, project operations team have a dedicated Teams channel. So, if you have your sales team, you can get in touch with your sales team, or you can just search for uh, a project operations team channel and get yourself added there, and then you can send a request directly to the project manager or the program manager of the of project operations. They will just review your request and send you an offer. That would be some offer codes. Then, as Rachit explained, you have to just use those offer codes and create your own tenant and deploy the environment. So also, as Rachit mentioned, these environments, this project operation is GA now. So you can definitely go and buy these things. Also, there is a dedicated YAML group for this project operations. So we do have those links at the end of our presentation. Uh, Lastly, recently Microsoft Project Operations have recently started a dedicated group onto LinkedIn. So feel free to join that group also, where you can also reach out to the direct project managers and program managers of project operations. So this way you can get yourself involved to the product team directly and ask any sort of question how you can get involved to project operations quickly.
Thanks, Faisal Rachit. So we talked a lot about a lot of documentation and links here. Is there a central place within our group where you can publish these artifacts, these links, so that it is accessible to everyone?
We can share definitely the as we did mention, we have all the links into at the end of this presentation. We will definitely share this presentation into our own repository, and we are happy to share that link into our dedicated LinkedIn company page, and also for the present for the this recording, we will be sharing everything onto our YouTube channel, so people will have all the everything into one place, into one presentation, and they just need to follow those steps in order to get yourself involved.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Vishal. Thanks, Faisal. All right, so these are the three deployment options which we talked about. Now I will hand it over to Faisal. So he will talk about the dual rights setup and he will give a product walkthrough on the project operations app. So thank you guys. Over to you, Faisal. Sorry, Faisal, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. I was just starting my presentation. All right, so we talked about the. So this session, I'm not going to talk briefly or deeply about dual right integrations. I have talked so much about now people don't want to listen talking me about the dual right for anymore. So I'll be focusing mainly onto the project operations and to the demo part. If you have any questions about the dual right integration, that's a separate topic. I'm happy to answer all those questions. Even myself, Vishal, and Rachit, we are happy to answer all those questions about this dual right cutting edge technology on a separate session. So back to the actual topic today is how the project operations, these two different apps of Microsoft ecosystem where we're talking about the project operations. We are just naming it as a project operations, but behind the scenes, these are two different apps. So one app is sitting into the finance and operations. As we can see here, we call it finance and operations, we call it supply chain, but it's the same thing. And which is onto the right hand side of my screen. Onto my left hand side of the screen, where you can see the project operations, and it is integrating to the projects for the web, as Rachit has explained in the previous slide. So how the project operation is actually talking about different type of projects for web here. So on this project operation is mainly built on C or CDS platform. So it's hard to use new terminologies, but we will stick to the CDS as of now. You can call it Dataverse, but it's regardless of any naming conventions, these are referring to the same technologies. So these two apps, now how we are going to send data across from one app to another app. So Microsoft has been spending up so much efforts and money onto the dual right integration. So moving to the next slide here, these are the couple of highlight points about the dual right, what you have to do. So what I'm going to do, I'm just switching back to my actual environment where I can show you, and we can keep these slides here. So first step is you have to create your companies in finance. That's the basic step. So that's the first part of your any implementation. You have to have your legal entities or companies. But if you have your demo data, in my case, I have demo data into my environment. So you will see all the legal entities there. So that step done. Then you have to establish the dual right connection here. So in order to do so, you go to your data management module and then click onto the dual right tile there. And you will have your dual right link already here, because for this particular demo, we have already linked the environments. But if you want to have a look how we are going to, what steps required, what solutions we need to install from Power Apps in order to make that dual right environment up and working. So if you go back to the dual right environment here, so I'll just give it a couple of minutes just to open this one, and I'll just maximize this one. So this is how the integration part is look like here. So if we go to the project operations, these are the out of the box and table maps. We used to call it entity maps, but recently we have to call it a table maps here. That's new terminology. We got it from Dataverse. So if you have already seen dual right previously in my other so many presentations and talks, you may have noticed that was an option on top of that. It was an entity map here. Now it's a table map here. So we have to run these integrations, these jobs here, where we just that is a part of the dual right configuration. Then we're switching back to the environment text here. So what we are going to do here, let me just remove this one and take you to the actual environment. So once this dual right part is done, that is a well documented part onto the Microsoft Docs site for dual right itself. So the main idea about this one, we just have to go through these few points here, apply dual right orchestration and project operation solutions here. So I'm just going here. You can go back to the solutions, and you just have to find out your solution, project operations, and then we have installed a couple of solutions here, and that would be it. So if we go by step, so all the documents are very well documented onto the Microsoft Docs site. So you just have to install all the solutions into your CE or CDS or Dataverse environment. It's the same thing. Once you have those solutions, you go back to your FNO environment, start linking your environment, apply solution from here. So if we click onto the apply solution, you will see there will be one or two solutions coming up. You just have to select one or two. You can do two at the same time. So first one is the dual right orchestration solution. It creates a couple of records into the system tables, into FNO and CDS environment. And this dual right project operations solution, once you install this one, you will automatically get all these table maps which are seen behind this particular screen here. You can see all these coming automatically populated here. So once you apply this solution, and you will see all those coming up, then you just have to click onto this one and start the jobs. Since these are already started, I'll just click onto this one and run that particular job, and that would be it. So another quick tip here: once you run it for the first time, if you do not need initial scene, don't do this. Just start it without doing any initial scene. Just run it, and it will be in a running state. So that was this part over here. I'll just quickly go through this one, apply the solutions here, run all the maps from project operations dual right solution, and run all the prerequisites maps for each project operations dual right maps, which we have talked about. These are all the prerequisites table maps here. and then enable what ensure all the jobs are running. And once you're done, and you may set up a pause here in each table map here. With this one, we will just jump into the demonstration part. So what we are going to cover today is give you or show you a look and feel how the project operation looks like. So we are going to present a couple of dashboards, how you can navigate about the UIs, you can create your project contract and project here. Back to the
Before we jump onto the product, Faisal, just got one simple question there. We talked about dual right, and it looks like it is pretty much, documented very well as you mentioned on the website. Now, how about the extensions? Is it similar to how we do in finance and operations if we want to make any modifications, or is it different?
Absolutely. So it's a very common question, very good question over here. So everyone wants to extend their applications. So if we talk about the finance and operations side, so we consider this as an app here. These all are data entities itself. So if we go project operations here, and I want to extend, I want to add something into my project contract head as data entity. So the similar data entity you will see under your data management and data entities list. So that's a similar concept. If you want to extend any functionality and you want to add fields from finance and operations, add those fields in there, and then after just map it, that would be it. So this is the data entity which is mapped between both the environments. So you can add all the mappings from here, whatever your customizations, you just add it into your environment, FinOps, and then map it. So just map it here. But what you have to do in order to synchronize this data to the CDS environment, which is the C environment here, you can definitely extend your CDS environment. Respectively, you will have your orders entity into your CDS environment, which you can definitely access from. If you have experience from the CE environment, you can extend these environments too, and to some extent you can also write your plugins there. So to answer to your question, absolutely, both the apps can be extended, but how much it can be extended to what functionality we can achieve and what is the limitations, it's very hard to say because that is a very early stage of the product.
So we will cover that into the further deep dive sessions.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yep. So just to add on to that, so Vishal, what in terms of limitations, there are some new web controls which Microsoft is releasing in project operations, things like for project scheduling, resource scheduling. Those type of controls may have some limitations when it comes to extension, but definitely when it comes to extending your metadata, in a FinOps side, you use your normal extension frameworks. In CE side, you use your plugin framework. So metadata extension definitely supported. When it comes to UI and controls, there might be some limitations, but we'll cover that in our deep dive session, which we are planning next year. Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. So that was about extensions and how we can, in other words, how we can customize the system through extensions. So if we go back to the environment here, then that is the project operations environment. So if we go to the project management and accounting and go to the project contracts, so I just have opened another environment here to give you a different look and feel here. This is this environment, which is on my right-hand side. This is not the project operations environment. And I just open the same app and I just click onto the project contract. You can see this is the current environment which we currently have, and we have so many options available here. You can create your invoices, you can create your hour journals here, you can create your, you can actually create projects here. And also if you go, you dig into the project itself, for any project contract, you can define your work breakdown structure there. Now, with the project operations, what has changed here? On to left-hand side of the screen here, I opened the project contracts here. You see, there are so many options have been taken out from this part. You cannot plan all these things into finance and operations now. But in future, we are going to demonstrate, we are going to explore more how we can do all this forecasting and maintain forecasting stuff. Let's, for example, into the CDS environment. Definitely, if Microsoft has taken these options out of finance and operations, so we will have this option to cover all these things into the CDS environment, which is, I'm just referring to the CE environment here. So we have the maintain options here and we have the maintain options here. But as you can see clearly, there are so many options have been taken out of this context for the project operations. And also, if you click onto the project contract here, it is taking you directly to the project operations as into CDS environment here. And that's really super cool here. You just clicking directly from finance and operations here, and you want to see more about your project contract. Just click onto any of the project contracts, and it takes you there. I'll just maximize it here, so you can see all the fields available into your project operations here. So you can create a new project. You can create a project contract from here. What we are going to find out here as part of the demonstration, we have different project contracts created here. We have defined project quotations. Then what we are going to do, let's now try creating a new project contract here. I will say the ANZ demo. You just get any customers here. Let's say I'm choosing this customer. I'm choosing all my product price list here and click save. It's going to auto generate this sales order number, which is the project contract number we are referring to. And also, this is the demonstration environment. So don't worry about the performance. If you are running this into your higher tier environment, and your production environment, so the performance will be much better compared to these demonstration environments. So if you go back to FinOps and just refresh this one once.
Might need to change that filter, Faisal, show contracts to all.
Yeah. Thank you. So this came through over here. If you click onto this one, you can directly go back to your project operations site, as we have seen earlier. Now, if we go back to the project here, so that was about the project contract. So just to this quick an overview, how the project contract UI has changed into the project operations compared to the existing current environments which we have right now without project operations. So if we go to the all projects here, similarly, if we open the all projects into our existing environment here, so I'm gonna open all projects. So that's the current situation, current UI which we currently have into our environments. So once you have installed project operations into your environment, you will see this feeling, this look here. So you can create, you can click onto any project here, and again it is taking you to the project operations here, where you can define all the tasks here. So that these tasks are similarly which we used to do as a work breakdown structure back into FNO. Previously, you can define all your tasks here. You can link your team here. So if we go back to the project site, all projects here, and let's take one of the projects which we created as part of the demonstration. So you can definitely, once this screen comes up, you can create all your project work breakdown structures, and these are directly linked to the uh, projects for web. This is where, as part of our presentation, here, if we take back one step here, so this project for web. So that is what we are referring back here. So you can define all your tasks here. These are directly integrated to your projects for web. And I'll say uh, task one here. You can say this is assigned to myself, and this is the duration of this. If you want to extend that one, it's a web version. Definitely, you can create your own columns here. How you can see all the board stuff. You can define all the timelines. So whatever the timeline we have here, you can just move your availability wherever you have the duration here, wherever you have your resources booked. You can just slide these resources here and there using a web version of the project operations. So that's pretty cool. So this is that has been a very difficult part of in project in finance and operations to manage all your work breakdown structures. And there has been so many requests in order to customize that area. And being a developer, we know it's sometimes it's very hard to extend those things into the work breakdown structure. Now you can there are so many options out of the box available, which we still need to explore, as we said. But that is a quick overview about how you can see all your resource assignment here, how you can just slide all the resources, how many hours this resource is booked, and once it's done, you will send this back to finance and operations, and then you can run your invoicing from there. You can also create directly invoicing from here into project operations app here. Now, switching back to the presentation to see if we have covered all what we have written here. So now, if we go back to the project operations homepage, these are the nice looking dashboards. So it gives you everything, and the more powerful part which we have experienced found as of now, you can drill down from a graph to each and every record here. So this record was created for that particular project, and from that project, you can click on to each project and drill down what has happened. Is there any problem with the record? Do you see my screen, guys? All good?
Yeah.
All good,
We
sir.
can see it. That's not a problem.
Excellent. So that was a quick demonstration part
Yeah. So
from us.
Faisal, before we wrap up the demo, do you want to quickly showcase around scheduling board and resource utilization workspace also at the bottom?
Yep.
Yeah. On the left under the projects.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is how you will have all the resources into a one dashboard here. You can you can just book all your resources. Similar as of now, like we don't have anyone booked here, but you can definitely book over here, and you can have a look how much each resource is utilized, and based on to their availability, you can assign those resources to a couple of different projects, and you can free up the resources which you don't need anymore onto the project. So into a one page, you can do all other things all together. And similarly, if you have your schedule board set up here, So that's something. If we go back here, we can just extend this one. I want to book this particular resource uh, onto my schedule board. I want to say, okay, I want to book this particular resource and click onto this one, and you just put select requirement prior to booking. Okay, that's fine. So you have to have a proper requirement in order to book this particular booking. So similarly, for this particular person, uh, wall, uh, as part of the demonstration, we just booked it for that particular long duration. So you can easily book all your resources for a particular project, or even along across multiple projects from this schedule board. And also you can see on each resource what is the total utilization of each resource. If my resources are fully booked, if they do have some room or some capacity, so that project managers can easily find out from this dashboard and see, okay, I got this resource. He has or she has maybe 10 hours available this week. So we need to find out some work, or we need to find out some project. So where we get just assign that resource.
Yeah. So you can totally manage all your resources, their scheduling, their allocations, and see how they are placed for the next, in the future time also. So that's super cool feature in there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And these are all your resources sitting over here, which definitely are employees coming from FNO. So these are your resources. It will have a direct relationship with the resources and with the employees. And then these are the dedicated roles for each resource sitting over here. So that was a quick demonstration. And as we said, we have put together all our blogs, articles, whatever we have used to prepare this demonstration, what we got as part of our learning. So uh, feel free to access this presentation. What we will definitely share this presentation at the end of the event today or tomorrow. Then you can just click onto all these links and start reading from here. If you
Yeah.
have, if you still have, definitely there will be so many questions. And if you stuck somewhere, don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Thanks, Faisal Rachit. So with this, we'll open the floor for some quick questions in here. In the interest of time, if we are unable to answer it immediately, we'll take up these questions over the email and by other channels.
Absolutely, yeah. So while we are getting some questions here, quickly summarizing the session, what we discussed today, what we think we should be learning. So gear up for the future. Like as part of this project operations and what I have experienced as part of implementing the dual right, I have learned a lot from CDS and from Power Platform. So do not restrict yourself for the only for finance and operations. If you have a finance and operations background, it's good. Try to explore, try to find out the ways to get yourself involved into the other platform, across platform, uh, let's say ECE or Power Platform. But if you are from the other side of the fence, you try to explore FNO more, so that you will be have cross scaling for the whole Microsoft ecosystem. So this is the future now. Microsoft is investing towards a person where he or she must have an idea or an experience about the whole ecosystem. So nowadays it's very easy to learn, get everything done. There are so many available online resources available, but again, feel free to get in touch with us if you want to learn anything, and if you want to learn anything about Power Platform from the finance and operations point of view. Come and talk to us. We are happy to organize few sessions on that. Engage with the community forums, as I did mention, as we have already shared few links. Do join Microsoft Teams channel via Insider Program and Yammer group, and to different community channels. This way you can definitely learn a lot. So any questions for anyone, any confusions, where to start, what to do?
Yep, you can always send us mail later if there are no questions now.
Absolutely. Good. So thank you so much for everyone for joining us today, and we really appreciate your dedication, and we wish you a good holidays ahead. And we all see you in 2021.
Thank you guys. Happy holidays.
Thank you,
Cheers.
Faisal. Thanks,
Thank
Rachit.
you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Vishal. Happy
Bye.
holidays, guys.
Thanks, bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.